Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, mini Motorways. Let's go to New York City for today's daily challenge, where we will have no destinations becoming circles, and very important here in New York, we begin with 4 bridges. So that'll be fun. Got a nice little train station here. We are, of course, in New York City, and when I say New York City, I mean Manhattan, which is what anyone talks about when they talk about New York. We have a train station here. We'll send a car down that way, and eventually we'll have actual, businesses we have to care about, and we can stop respecting train stations. There, have I hit all of the catchphrases? Well, I haven't called anything a very helpful triangle or declared something a rat-like yet, but we're pretty much in catchphrase heaven today. So that's nice. All right. Let's take this orange down this way. We'll restructure that like so that this house services the train station and will, generally speaking, be fine. This green business can. I think that kind of seals the deal for me. I was debating whether I wanted to go down and around or up and over the train station. We'll go up and over. Send those down there. We want to maintain our guiding principle, of course, and that being we have one business and it needs one road. And that's what we do. All right. So, if you don't want to hear discussions and thoughts about the big thing that happened in the United States yesterday, I'll try to keep it to 5 minutes because I don't want to talk about it too much. But this is one of those things that makes me feel like, and certainly the way it's being treated, is that anyone who has any kind of platform and ever talks about politics has to say something. And I have, by the very strictest definitions, any kind of platform. And I do, on occasion, talk about politics. And therefore, by those rules, I do have to say something. So I'll say this. It's a wonderfully timed meow by Nora. I hope you heard that. In a better world, a slightly better world, Charlie Kirk wouldn't have been shot yesterday. Shouldn't have to say that. Probably don't have to say that. In a much better world, Charlie Kirk wouldn't have existed. He would have been some fringe nut job, or, more likely, would have just been raised better and not held the disgusting, vile, awful, bigoted beliefs that he apparently held and definitely espoused for literally his entire professional career. It's pretty much all I have to say. So we got a pink station here at the train station. We've got this coming up here. These greens go up that way. Another green coming up here. You know, we did say that there were not going to be any circles today. You heard that, right, game? The whole no circles thing. I do remember being told that there would be no circles. So let's run this orange down that way. I think we're going to pull one of these houses off of the train station. You remember we never, ever, ever respect train stations here. I think, actually, we're going to have to do something similar with both of these businesses. We're going to run these pinks up here. We're going to run this like so, and we're going to do that. This is a perfectly cromulent traffic light. Get rid of that, have the pink come in this way. And then for this orange right here, we're going to do something very similar. We'll do a traffic... Actually, let's do the traffic light after the railroad crossing. That seems probably better. Questionably. I'm debating whether or not I want to say anything else. On the one hand, that was succinct. On the other hand, it was blithe. The beautiful thing about having a tiny microscopic platform is that the only one thinking about it is probably me. So it's September 11th. Nope, we're done. Let's talk about something truly traumatic and horrible. The New York Mets God, the Mets have sucked for like, what is it, 3 months now? They were good in June. I don't think they had a good month of June, but like in June, coming into June, they had a good record. They peaked this season, assuming they don't win out for the rest of the way, which they're not going to. They peaked with a record that was 21 games over 500, and I remember that was after team game number 69, and of course I remember that. Hi, Nora. Hi. What? Why do you have the zoomies? It's early. It's 6:25 in the morning, cat. It's entirely too early for you to have the zoomies. All right, let's do this. First of all, we're going to place motorway number 1 right here. These 3 pinks are going to go way over yonder. Did you bring a little furry ball? I don't see a little furry ball. There's one over there. Go play with that. Go. Go, 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 go. All right. Let's do... in the fullness of time, I think this thing that I'm about to create would be better served by... Actually, I was going to say it would be better served by a traffic light, but it just occurred to me I can do get. No, I can do a roundabout right here, right? And we do a roundabout there. We have our western spur go down this way, service that business. We have our southern spur hook along thusly, serve this pink business. Let's also have... Oh, no, better idea. Southwest spur goes that way. I didn't think I could fit a southern spur, but I can indeed fit a southern spur right there. Okay. So now we have 5 greens and 2 pinks, all sharing one road coming into the roundabout. And then from the roundabout, we go spur off to the west, goes to the green business. Southwest spur goes to the pink business. And a southern spur hooks left and goes to the green business. Imagine a New York City containing just a massive, huge, enormous highway going from, what is this, Brooklyn? I think this might be Brooklyn. From just over the East River. This might be New Jersey, actually. We might be in New Jersey with that bridge, with that motorway. I don't know why I took 30... Well, the options were 30 road tiles and a bridge, and I saw that I have 4 bridges, so I probably don't need bridges. And I didn't consider that, I'm likelier to need a 5th bridge than I am to suddenly encounter a 51 road tile deficit. So, it'll be fine either way, most likely. But in immediate hindsight, I should have taken the bridge. Also, in immediate hindsight, I should have written something. But, I figured planning and then basically ad-libbing would have been fine. Oh, well. This intersection here is possibly maybe going to become a nightmare at some point. Having a traffic light right next to a set of train tracks is probably not going to go well for me, but it'll be okay. Yeah, probably, maybe not. Oh well. I wonder if, actually, let's do this. What if we put the traffic light way back here? No, because that just puts it before a set of tracks now going over here, which I guess means there's... And also this still has to happen, so there are just more crossings now. The only change there is there are now more railroad crossings that need to happen, so that's just dumb. All right, let's take more traffic lights. We'll set myself up with a second and third. Setting myself up with a second and third sounds like an opportunity that the Mets offense is about to squander. Oh boy. Let's see here. I never dealt with this orange business right over here. This orange business right over here probably needs help. Yeah. Also, we do have this yellow business with which to contend. And I think for the moment, we're going to have to do this. I don't love this, and I'd like to do something better than this in the long run. But given that we can't cross Central Park here with any kind of road, it's not possible for me to just go voom and then bridge down this way. So we have to improvise something. Now, this orange business right here is presently being supported basically with hope and prayer. It's a little bit hope prairie, to be honest with you. But what I think we're going to do is going to toss this orange onto... No, we're going to sever this connection. Hold on, friends. I have a thought. What if we run this orange road down here? Like that. And now these two orange houses and this pink house can just kind of share all sorts of responsibility. And if they just sort of share all sorts of responsibility, then we can have a situation like this. I pull these orange houses into the roundabout. They then can come via this newly created connection point right here down to support these two orange businesses. These two orange houses are primarily focused over here, but every once in a while they'll have to send cars to the train station so that we can pay lip service to the idea of respecting train stations. This orange house goes up here, supports this business. I think because we know that nothing is ever going to become a circle, this is just going to be fine for functionally forever, but we'll see. I should mention, for those of you who are on Twitch and very confused, it is early. It is presently 6:31, which ordinarily means that I would be probably rolling out of bed, a little bit frustrated at myself for having slightly overslept. Sounds about right. Let's immediately do this thing I wanted to do. We're going to reposition these yellows, and we'll draw motorway number 2, just like that, up and off and over to there. Now, these pinks will run up this way, service this business. That should, generally speaking, be fine. These pinks are handling this roundabout fairly well. This roundabout is definitely not murder killing anything, which is nice. I've got this orange house, which I kind of don't want to put on this road, because I'm afraid that if I put it on this road, it's going to be asked to do stuff, and I don't know how we feel about houses having to do stuff. These greens will come up here. They will cross the tracks, but they won't use a bridge. Oh, hi. Oh, we have yet another color here in New York City. That, well, phrasing. We now have a dark blue house and business situation, which is, broadly speaking, probably fine. If I can get a motorway, that would be amazing. Hey, look, a motorway. Cool. So we'll draw motorway number 3. It'll go up here. These darkish blue houses will swing over this way and get over that way. This is how transit works in New York City, right? You've got folks who live in southern Manhattan and then they hop on the highway to go to, what is this, Queens? I don't know. We're going to say that this is how transit works in New York City. This is how transit works in New York City, title of the episode. As a surprisingly accurate description of the episode. I don't usually put accurate descriptions of the episodes in titles of the episodes. That having been said, I often don't say funny things. So let's just pencil that in momentarily. Gives me a chance to not think about how I'm going to work on this other dark blue business, which has just spawned up here. Hi there, this other dark blue business, which has just spawned up here. I hate you. I think what we're going to have to do, and oh boy is this ugly, we're going to draw this ridiculous bridge right here. That ridiculous bridge is actually fairly tiny because we can skirt along the western edge of our island. And having successfully island skirted off that away, we can swing in like this manner and immediately be shunted down for our hubris or something. Because now we have to deal with this yellow business. And it should be easy to deal with this yellow business. In fact, it will be. You know what? It'll be fine. We're going to reposition motorway number 2 so that you're only pulling from these 3 yellows. We're going to redraw all of this dark blue road right here. These 2 yellows are going to go off that away. Okay, now, we're going to have to wait for all of this blue nonsense to sort itself out, which is going to take time. Listen, this is going to take a fair whack of time, actually. I think while we're waiting for this to take a fair whack of time, we're going to reposition that and bring in a 3rd dark blue house. You, over here, are yellow. That is fine. We can have cowardly friends every once in a while. All right, This bridge still has not sorted itself out. We gotta wait for these blues to come on back like so. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a bridge. Ow. Damn it. All right, render unto me a roundabout, thank you. Would the presence of a roundabout help me in delivering these blues up that way? I mean, sort of. Sort of, yeah, actually. All right. Let's get a little ridiculous with some stuff. Getting ridiculous with stuff always ends well. First, I think we can kill motorway number 2, actually, because I discovered or remembered that this yellow house is here. So this yellow house and possibly some additional yellow friends can swing down that away. This road over here will be murder and killed. You come up that away, go in like so. So the 3 of you go off to that double plaza. That should be dine and fandy. You will not be able to sneak through here because I do want to keep that orange situation basically as is. So that's fine. Let's run this into here. And I think we're going to have to put a roundabout right here. Just imagine the great New York roundabouts just a little bit east and due south of Central Park. Oh, it's ridiculous and I love it. So obviously you can't have a roundabout that touches the train track in any meaningful way. So I think we're going to center a roundabout right here. We'll have our southern spur be devoted to this. All right. Southwestern spur goes there. Western spur goes off like so. Northwestern spur hooks off this way into this green business. Our northeastern spur heads for this blue square. Technically, that does mean that these oranges are now connected to this, and this orange, terrifyingly, is connected to these. But, you know, it'll probably just be fine. It'll work out A-okay. All right. This blue here swings down that away, gets up to this business. This yellow connects back down here. You're probably going to want some yellow friends at some point, but for the moment, at least, you appear to be fine. This roundabout just was not moving. The interplay between roundabout and train track may not be good, actually. It may, in fact, be bad. Well, if that turns out to be the case, we'll see how shit works. Speaking of seeing how shit works, we've got this green business over here that suddenly needs assistance, and I have no way of connecting anything to it. Unless I do something truly ridiculous. Behold, something truly ridiculous. There. That should be fine. We'll just add yet more pressure to this already extant roundabout. Have these green business be stretched, these greenhouses be stretched even thinner than they presently are, and we'll just support the business that way. I think that'll be fine. I think that'll work out A-okay. I think everything will be cool. Everything will be good. I sound like that guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is impressive because I don't actually watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Despite the fact that it is, in fact, usually a pleasant climate in the city of brotherly love. All right, let's see here. So we've got these two blues right here and this blue business right here. And I realize that I don't presently have a roundabout, but I feel as though we should just do this thing I'm about to do. On the other hand, okay, so these blues very obviously should be over to here. That's just a thing that we can all agree upon. And yet, I'm not doing that. Part of the reason I'm not doing that is that I'm stupid. Another part of the reason I'm not doing that is that I was too busy drawing this road over here to connect this green to this double plaza and thereby save me from myself as regards this ridiculous roundabout and bridge combination. The rounda bridge, if you will. Sadly, you cannot put roundabouts on bridges. Believe me, if I could, I would. Let's get these 2 oranges up over to here, like so. Should be fine. Have myself a roundabout. Hey, you remember when I said I didn't have a roundabout over here? Well, I was proven wrong. Never wrong, just early. All right, we've got a blue business that spawned literally the moment I created this roundabout, but that'll be fine. These 2 blue houses can totally support 2 blue businesses. What are you talking about? Why would you even suggest that that might be a problem? Is there a problem? I don't see a problem. It's definitely a problem, actually, that there are 2 blue businesses here. It's like an existential, maybe you shouldn't have actually drawn this roundabout, create the motorway again, Goog moment. But we're just pretending it's not, honestly. Like, yeah, we're just pretending it's not.
Hear ye, let the record show that this viewer was here first.
Samurai Sam was here first. Good morning, Samuel. Let us run these blues down this way into here, get more additional blue support going for these 2 dying blue businesses. Sam was up early, forgot that it was early Gimmimimim today. It is indeed early Gimmimimim today. I have to be in Connecticut at 9, but it's like the part of Connecticut that I can get to reasonably early, like, stop at Burger King for breakfast and mosey my way down Interstate 91 type of early. So it'll be basically fine. I do just have to leave by, I think I mapped it out that I have to be out the door by 8:30. Is that right? Hold on. If I have to be out the door by 8:30, why am I doing an early Gimmimimim? That doesn't make sense to me. Where's my phone? All right, hold on. Well, before I go map questing, not map questing, but, map questing is a better verb than Apple mapsing. So I did already start early. I did start early. So, it's not like we're going to stop and wait 20 minutes and then resume. I am, in fact, not going to do that, Sam. It would be funny, but not worth it, and it would probably ruin my day. So instead, we're going to draw motorway number 3, just over there like that. Also, while we're here, I'm going to do this and that and murder kill this bridge and have this yellow swing over here, support this business. Okay, now, without doxing myself, particularly given that I said a thing about Charlie Kirk today, and whoo boy are people going to be looking for people who say things about Charlie Kirk. Shit's going to get bad. Sorry, I said another thing. Anyway, without particularly doxing myself, let's see here. So I have to be at that particular address. Got it. So let me open my Apple Map app, and we'll just gently and reasonably plop in that I have to be at such and such a place in such and such a city at such and such a time. All right. That place is a 43-minute drive from here, and I have to be there at 9. So I should probably leave the house at 8. And it is presently 6:43. Okay. We'll take another bridge. What I'm hearing is I'm gonna be fine. I have plenty of time. I can stop and get breakfast. I love stopping and getting breakfast. It's one of my favorite things. Related, I'm enormous. Let's see here. We have this orange business over here, which needs tending to. I believe we shall tend it in this manner. Sadly, I can't do anything with this orange house. This orange house kind of really feels like it wants to be grouped with these 3 orange houses, but sadly it cannot be. Sam asks for the Goog's top 3 play-by-play calls. I will omit myself, although there was a dude who had a lovely little thread on Bluesky about me being good, which was nice. It wasn't about me being good. It was about something some silly college did, and then he just kind of was like, oh, by the way, this dude rules. So that was nice. That was edifying. Anyway, let's do this off that away. Top 3 play-by-play calls. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is, like famous calls like Al Michaels' Do You Believe in Miracles? I'm sure in the time that was a lovely moment. Hey, question, why is this blue business dying? This blue business appears to be dying because God hates me. No? It's probably dying because there are 4 houses here and a roundabout and train tracks and a very long road. And yeah, this kind of nonsense keeps happening. Okay, I understand that this kind of nonsense can and will keep happening. Let's take a motorway. This blue over here got mad about stuff, which is irksome. Let's run another dark blue road over there. Find ourselves another couple of oranges, what aren't doing nothing. Draw motorway numero 5, like so. Alright. This orange will staple itself to that road, get over down to here. I'm sorry, do I have to pay attention to this pink train station? I kind of thought I might have to pay attention to that pink train station for a moment, but the answer appears to be no. No, I don't actually have to pay attention to this pink train station. I might have to pay attention to these dark blue businesses, but they'll be fine. Let's get another green on this road, support this business, should be okay. We'll run this dark blue over here. You'll immediately come over to here, and actually, yeah, these are going to die. Oh, well. Vince Scully's call. I don't think it was Vince Scully's call. I think there were 2 very, 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 very good calls of Kirk Gibson's home run in the 1988 World Series. I think it was 88. Game 1 of the World Series. Kirk Gibson nursing a hip injury, pinch hit home run, walk off, Dodgers win, that sort of thing. Everybody drop your Samurai Slams in the chat. Also, I don't have an emote for Hey Fishingworth beat me, but what do we never get to use? Everybody drop your shadow hearts in the chat for Fishingworth having beaten not just me, but also Samurai Sam. We do the shadow hearts because Shadowheart is a cleric, which means she's all about God and something Jesus fish. That sounds about right. Incidentally, something Jesus fish is the title of the episode. So it's got that going for it. All right. Let's see here. Let's bring in our very good friend, the Wordle. Come over to here, hit that button, Hey, look, it's a Wordle. All right. The Wordle today could be flank. It's not, but it could have been. Hold on, I have to cough. All right. It could be share. There's absolutely nothing saying that it's not share, aside from the recently discovered knowledge that it is, in fact, not share. Okay. So yes, Jack Buck's radio call was, I don't believe what I just saw, which is a wonderful call. Vince Scully's was, I don't remember the exact words, but it was, yeah, that was one of the lines that he had in it. I like just the play-by-play of that from Scully. A high drive into right field, she is gone. That was great. Vince Scully was fucking great. Shock of shocks, I know. I liked some Don Orsillo calls. Like, Don Orsillo had a way, particularly like in the early and midpoint of his Red Sox career, Don Orsillo can just turn a phrase. Like, he would say, back in the day when you could do this and a pitcher would bluff to the various corner bases, Orsillo made a habit of saying, you know, bluff to third, bluff to first, doesn't throw to either venue. It's not like a super memorable catchphrase or nothing, but it was cute. It was nice. It was endearing. Or a batter goes down by way of the K. Certainly not an original phrase. Certainly not anything that you're going to put on a t-shirt or nothing. But it was good. It was endearing. Oh, God. Not a fan of coming into tonight's action. Feels a little overly wordy and WWE-ish of me. Of Don. And Don Orsillo sounding like a WWE announcer. Yeah. Listen, it's bad that the Red Sox fired Don Orsillo. That doesn't mean Don Orsillo is a perfect announcer or nothing. He does have some annoying idiosyncrasies, and he's kind of leaning into the gimmick as he gets older. Nobody say anything about it so that we can continue shitting on the Red Sox for firing Don Orsillo. But actually, Don Orsillo's getting to be a little bit more annoying as he ages. Aren't we all, though? What the hell is this word? One asks. I can't think of any word that begins R-H-A. Padres Don Orsillo is like easily a top 5 best announcer in baseball, maybe still probably the best, particularly given that, as he's become Padres Don Orsillo, Gary Cohen's losing his fastball, and Keith I was going to say Keith Olbermann, Keith Hernandez. Let's get Keith Hernandez and Keith Olbermann in a room. They'd have a lovely discussion about baseball and nothing else. But, yeah, Keith Hernandez has lost it, and Ron Darling's still fine. Anyway, I can't think of a word that begins R-H-A, and therefore. Speaking of Gary Cohen, though, his call of Bartolo Colon's home run was just so good. It was the perfect level of absurd bafflement that, oh my God, Bartolo Colon hit a home run. Gary nailed that call. Go watch Gary Cohen's call of Bartolo Colon's home run. There you go. Here's a Don Orsillo catchphrase that I hated. Whenever Dustin Pedroia hit a home run, Don Orsillo would say La Luna because he hit it to the moon or something. Although Don Orsillo did also coin the phrase laser show, or rather he said it on TV. I think Dustin coined it. But yeah, wasn't a fan of La Luna, was a fan of laser show. It's a shame that Dustin Pedroia had the back half of Dustin Pedroia's career. Oh, God, what the hell is this word? So it probably ends in R, right? Which means it could just be chair. I could be massively overthinking this, and it's just chair. It turns out that I was massively overthinking that, and it was just chair. So that's good. Off goes the Don't Tell Me the Answer text, because if you know the answer, by all means, tell me the answer. All right. We have some folks in a place. I think this is the flag of Taiwan. If I was a person who recognized flags. All right. This banner says, Gen Z, we support you. MetaPro? We support Metropolis? Interesting. This guy supports the Brooklyn Nets, which is good for him. All right, so this is Nepal, which, okay, maybe that's the flag of Nepal, but these are generally anti-Chinese imperialist protesters, I think we can broadly speaking say. So, this might be the flag of Tibet or something, I don't know, or the flag of Nepal. We could just be in or near Nepal. So, as to the when of this, that's a wonderful question. We've got... All right, I was going to say that they had spray painted this, but no, it's just blue. They have, in fact, spray painted that, but they didn't climb up. Hold on, you climbed up here and you did... Okay, well, listen, we were only going to do so much, I guess. All right. I don't see, or rather... Oh, I was going to say I don't see, but then I did see this right here. Not only is a phone, but if you look at that little square... That's a big old honking square devoted to the multiple ridiculous lenses on modern iPhone cameras. So this right here is probably 2023-ish, within the last, say, 3 years. Let's see here. There are lots of masks. I mean, that's true. That's a fair point. That could be... Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of masks going on. That could be a COVID thing. That could be... I was going to say it's an identity masking thing, but it's probably a, hey, look, a big throng of people. We should probably protect ourselves and them, which is nice because we're decent people and all that. Sorry, Guy, are you just... Yeah, you're just barefootedly standing on the tippity top of the arch there. Good for you, fella. Man... Imagine a world in which a different photographer, like the traditional like movie shot aerial view, would have this guy in here in the back as the fucking star of the show. But no, we get these guys with the Gen Z flag and their bike helmets and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, we're in let's say Nepal-ish in 2021. Yeah, okay, that sounds right. Hey, question. It's probably this way, because the only thing I know about... Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I was a little bit too far east. Maybe we... Nope, that's Askai Chin. I think that's a province of something. There's the Hindu Kush. That's Kabul, which is in Afghanistan, which means I've gone too far west. Let's zoom back out and try again. Good God, China's enormous. I forgot how effing enormous China is. Hey, Nepal. All right. Let's just say we're in Kathmandu, because we're probably not in, like, the mountainous parts on account of there being cars and a throng here. Well, there is kind of a throng in the mountainous parts of Nepal. There's a climbing industry, don't you know? All right. Yeah, we are in Kathmandu, Nepal in 2021. Sounds right. We are, in fact, at the Singha Dubar, which is the seat of Nepal's government, but we were in 2025. Okay. All right, fine. Damn those people and their continued public health concerns. All right, next we have a taxi cab place that has an immediate glance here tells me vaguely Chinese-looking lettering, vaguely English-looking lettering, British-ish cars, and Chinese-ish people. Are we in Hong Kong? It seems as though a reasonable conclusion might be that we're in Hong Kong, but let's see if we can narrow it down. So we have the Meng Huat Hang Electronics Company. That's nice. There's a dentist there if you want to get your teeth done in what appears to be at a glance, 1958. 1958 feels a little early, actually. This could be the early 70s. But still, if you want to get your teeth done in Hong Kong in 1972, it seems about right. Yeah, I don't want to go ascribing Western norms to what appears to be an Eastern culture or nothing. This is not 1958. Not happening. Let's see here. We got a taxi cab. We got what appears to be a weird little Honda. We got another taxi cab from North Carolina. Oh, apparently we're in North Carolina. No, we're not. Let's see here. Would be nice if the words Hong and Kong would be positioned adjacent to one another so that I could be a little more certain of where we are. But I think I'm just going to have to play my hunch. Yeah. Unfortunate. Unless... That doesn't say California, does it? No, this is entirely too Chinese to be Chinatown. That's a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm reasonably confident that we're in Hong Kong, and I kind of blithely said 1972, but yeah, okay. Seems reasonable. Let us head once more to the eastern part of the world. This time we shall get all Hongish and Kongish with things. We are indeed right there in 1972. It was Singapore, which, fuck, but also 1972! I coughed. All right, next. Sam guessed Hong Kong as well. A great many people did. A shame. For all of us. Hi there, British fella. All right. So, you look like Alfred Pennyworth, basically. You are probably famous. Or maybe you're famous. One or both of these people is probably a person we should recognize. This, however, feels very Westminster Abbey-ish. Honestly. Like, I have a sense that we're in jolly London town. So, yeah, between this guy's hat and this building, yeah, I think we're jolly London towning it. Which means I know roughly where we are, and now let's try to figure out when we are. I can't see anything identifying on that car, but given the general shape of it and the general shape of this, not to mention the general shape of this ridiculous monstrosity, I don't know. If I was just looking at this stupid thing, I would say the 1930s or something. But I think, given this, it could be like this and this. We could be as late as 1960, as early as 1930. Do you want to do a midpoint comparison there and say that we're 1945? Man, that's the one thing that feels wrong, would be to say that this is 1945. All right, this hat. Man, I know that Sunflare Space is like a hat scholar or something and would be able to tell the exact year based basically off of this hat and this tie style. What I'm getting from this hat and the skinniness of this tie and also just a little bit of this lady's coat is 1951. So, we're going to go to Jolly London Town and we're going to park ourselves right in the shadow of Westminster Abbey and we're going to say that it's 1951 and I'm going to mute and cough again. Hold on. Oh, God. I should have poured myself a glass of water or something, but I, like a dumb person, basically only consume liquid if it has caffeine in it, and I don't want to consume caffeine before I have breakfast because caffeine on an empty stomach is a great recipe for the ultra shakes, and I don't want the ultra shakes. They're bad. And I also don't want to have breakfast because, again, breakfast on the road. It's a towering domino stack of stupid decisions, is what I'm saying. I was going to say stupidity, and then I decided, no, stupid decisions, and then I just fucked everything up. Anyway, we are in the shadow of Westminster Abbey, such as to say right here. We are indeed right there. The year is 1951. The year is 1960. And also we're in Austria. I see. All right. So I fucked that royally. All right. We got some ladies at typewriters. What does your sign say here? Your sign says... Gunschatten Vennen in Amsterdam. Hey. That helps a lot, actually. Thank you, Dutch signage. Thank you, Dutch signage. Title of the episode. What do I have right now? Nah, something Jesus Fish is funnier. All right. So this is for the Lietvrig Programmia or Programma. Yeah, I don't think we're getting any better than Amsterdam, probably. Yeah, that's De Volkenschule van Amsterdam. So again, we're probably in Amsterdam. As to the when of this, wonderful question. We got ladies working in a place. We got telephones. We got reasonably decent typewriters. We've got these cars out here. Man, I know I just said it was 1951. That turned out not to be 1951. Kind of feeling 1951 again. Or maybe a little bit earlier than that. Maybe like 1942? Could we be Amsterdam in 1942? It's conceivable. Amsterdam is in the Netherlands, which is just north of Germany. By north, I of course mean west. So let's go here and go to Amsterdam, and we'll say that it's 1942? 1942? 1948. Okay. But hey, it was indeed Amsterdam, so that's nice. What did Sam say he got for a score? 37,648. Reachable, but difficult. Also, it appears as though I made my window a little bit too big. Oh well, it's fine. All right, so... Oh man, if I was a person who recognized flags. However, this is the embassy of the Arab Republic of Egypt, which means this is not Egypt. We're in a country that has an embassy of Egypt. Interesting. Let's see here. Yes, Sam, you've never quoted me wondering what would happen if I was a person who recognized flags. The world may never know. All right. Now, if I was a person who recognized flags, I would be able to tell you, oh, we are in this country's Egyptian embassy. But I'm not. So, by process of logic, these then are Egyptian flags. So that helps. Let's see here. Maybe Libya? All right, now hold on. The crest on this eagle thing is not, well... I guess it might be. Like, that certainly looks yellow in the middle there. And it's vertically oriented, which tells me that that's a different crest than the flag what's flying over this embassy, and certainly than the flags what these people are waving. So, Alright, let's think here. You're wearing a t-shirt that says Osaka. I don't think we're in Japan. I think you're just a dude wearing a t-shirt. Okay. Can't really pull anything off of these guard uniforms. They're a little too pixelated. I do think we're probably vaguely Arab Spring. Maybe a little bit more recent than that. The Arab Spring, I believe, was 2011. Was that right? Was it that long ago? Yeah, it was. Oh my God. Oh, it was 2011. Oh, we're old. Oh, we're so old. Anyone who remembers the term Arab Spring is old. All right. Oh, what does your hat say, my guy? Your hat says Nivea. It doesn't, but I can't tell what it does say, so. For a moment, I was about to be excited. All right. I think... Like I look at this phone. This does not look like a modern right this very day phone, but it does look to be in the style, which would, broadly speaking, comport with this being 2011. Sam, you're so old, you have like salt and pepper hair and an arm in a sling permanently, and you're actually technically dead. Spoilers for Final Fantasy X. Sorry, I should have tagged my spoiler warning, but spoilers for Final Fantasy X. Auron's dead. Oh, God. All right. Fuck. All right. So we're not in Egypt, but we're in an African country that has an embassy of Egypt. So, I mean, that's probably most African countries, to be honest with you. Fuck it. We're in Sudan. That seems entirely reasonable. Seems like the kind of place that would get a bunch of Egyptian people to be mad and protest in front of their embassy. Seems like the kind of place that would have an embassy. Where are we in Sudan? Wonderful question. Haven't a fucking clue. We're going to say we're in Khartoum because it's the biggest dot on the map. So we are in Khartoum, Sudan in 2014. 14? 19. But it was indeed Khartoum, Sudan. Holy shit, what a pull. Also, these are Sudanese flags. They were just mad that Egypt was getting involved in their shit. I see. This is the Egyptian flag. These are Sudanese flags. I understand. Also, we beat Sam. 38,508. Holy shit. Okay. That works. Oh, drop those GGs in the chat and let us move swiftly along to the Immaculate Grid for today's Immaculate Grid. We need Mets and Yankees. And dudes who won a Gold Glove, and dudes who were All-Stars, and dudes who had 300 dingers, and dudes who had 200 hits in a season. A New York Met who won a Gold Glove is Ray Ordonez. He was a very good defensive shortstop who could not fucking hit. There were, approximately 30 of them in the 1990s. A New York Met who was an All-Star. I mean, there are several funny answers for this. Let's just go with R.A. Dickey. R.A. Dickey was a Met who was an All-Star. An All-Star who had 300 homers in his career is one David Ortiz. There were also Nomar Jeter and A-Rod, and they were shortstops with good gloves, with decent to fine to bad in some cases gloves, who absolutely could fucking hit. But, you know, there were also backup dudes. There was Pokey Reese. Pokey Reese existed. Let's see. An All-Star who had 200 or more hits in a season is not, in fact, Pokey Reese, but we'll say Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was an All-Star who had 200 hits in a season. It's a factual statement. You can't prove me wrong. The reason you can't prove me wrong, I'm correct. New York Yankee who had 200 hits in a season is Jolton Joe DiMaggio. He was good at baseball, don't you know? Dude who had 200 hits in a season and won a Gold Glove is Ichiro. I was going to put Ichiro for a Yankee with 200 hits because he was independently both of those things, but you need to have both of them in the same season, and he did not have 200 hits in a season with the Yankees. He was, in fact, pretty cooked by the time he was a Yankee. New York Yankee who had 300 or more home runs over the course of his career is not Republican Congress candidate Mark Teixeira, although he probably had 300 dingers in his career, and he probably does fit the square, but we're not going to say Mark Teixeira. We're going to say Jason Giambi, a New York Yankee who had 300 homers. A dude who had 300 homers in his career and won a Gold Glove is, wait a moment, I don't think Mookie Betts has hit 300 homers yet. I realize we have this conversation every few months. Yes, indeed, Sam. Mark Teixeira is running for Congress in Texas. He's on... I want you to guess. I want you to take a wild guess what type of political platform Mark Teixeira is running on as he attempts to become a congressperson in Texas. Congratulations, you're correct. So I realize that every few months, we have the discussion of, does Mookie Betts have 300 homers? And I've realized, and I conclude, I don't think so, not yet. I think he's at about 270. And then it turns out that either I'm right that he's at about 270, or he's got like 320 already. And I don't remember which it is, and I'm 2 guesses away from an actually immaculate grid, so we're not going to say that Mookie Betts is a dude who had 300 homers in his career and won a Gold Glove, even though it's entirely possible that he is. Instead, we're going to say Carlos Beltran. Carlos Beltran was a dude who had 300 homers in his career and won a Gold Glove. That is a factual statement. Now, Carlos Beltran also would have been a very nice pull for a Met who was also a Yankee, but... let's see here. A Met who was also a Yankee. Kelly Johnson. Yeah, that's probably the funniest one I could come up with in 9 seconds. Kelly Johnson. A Met who was also a Yankee. That is an immaculate grid. Rarity score of 65. You love to see it. Look at all those single digits. Pay no attention to the bottom right corner where I just took some layups. Look at all those single digits. Sub 1, 2 1%ers, and a sub 1 pull with Kelly Johnson. He was indeed a Mankey. He will evolve into a Primeape. I never had Pokemon Red, so I've never had a Mankey. I think I got a Primeape in some games somehow, but I've never had a Mankey, and I never will, unless... I do. I'm not going to I don't have a grudge against Mankeys or anything. It's just reasonably amusing. Anyway, folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. I intend to be back on Twitch later this evening for Dragon Age: the Veilguard. Yeah, I had Pokemon Blue. That's why I didn't have a Mankey. He was in Pokemon Red. Did I say the opposite? Well, I was wrong. My point is... it's entirely possible that I said the opposite and was wrong. I don't remember things that I say. God. I intend to be back later this evening for Dragon Age: the Veilguard as we traipse effortlessly into the end game, or something like that. And we shall be back tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Until then, this is the end screen. Thank you as always for being here. Have a good day. Goodbye.